Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you have found the time for me and my ramblings. Welcome back to another episode of Only Dead Fish Go with the Flow. This week, we are joined by Jess Rowe, half of the historic Seize the Day crew. Now, before we get stuck into all the stories and tales and, wondrous things that Jess is about to tell us, I just wanted to say some of my audio is a bit muffled for some reason. I have done my best, but just know I'm not eating a sock or anything weird. I just think my mic might have had low battery. Live and you learn, all that. We are also coming up to our first year anniversary of the podcast, so I just wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone who has supported it. We will be a year old mid-May. We are going to do a giveaway. I've not announced it on Instagram and I've not sorted anything out for it yet, but it's happening. You just got to keep an eye out. As per usual, please follow, comment, and leave a review for the pod. Without further ado, welcome to your weekly reminder that only dead fish go with the flow. This week, on very popular request, I have Jessica Rowe from Seize the Day, Pacific rower, world record holder.
Yeah.
In my house. Welcome to the renovation project.
Thank you so much. Lovely to be here.
Got a cup of tea, bit of brown carpet. Very, very, very relaxed vibes. We actually went to the same uni briefly together, and we worked out that we were doing the same waitressing shifts. And that's how we know each other. We never know what everyone's going to get up to. But welcome to the podcast. Would you like to name and explain what the fuck you have been doing?
Yeah, so I finished rowing across the Pacific Ocean in October last year with my teammate Miriam Payne, and we became the first women's team and first overall pair to row the full Pacific Ocean non-stop and unsupported.
I've got 165 days at sea and 8,213 nautical miles.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
You're like every last one of them.
And yesterday we celebrated being on land for 165 days after the row.
Did you do anything nice, or were you just like, thank God?
No, we didn't do well. We were kind of like, oh, I wish we were on the boat.
Oh,
But-
because where is the boat at the moment?
So the boat is on a friend's driveway in Surrey, and it's
Oh,
up for sale, which is really sad.
that is really sad.
Yeah, we wish we could keep her, but we'd quite like something a bit faster and lighter for the next one, perhaps.
Oh, the next one, is that a teaser that there might be another one in there?
Well, I'm sure there has to be one. I mean, no plans as of yet, but the Indian Ocean is on the list.
Ooh. So how did you get into it?
So I did a bit of rowing at Pangbourne College. Was never very good. I think I came last in every single regatta. I remember going in a single scull and literally, like, I didn't only come last in the race of boats at Dorney Lake, but when I looked at the boards at the end of the day, I was like 80th out of 80. So rowing was definitely not my sport at school. I was very sporty and took part in everything. But I'd known about ocean rowing for quite some time because my dad did the Atlantic rowing race in 2005 in the same race as Ben Fogle and James Cracknell. So, and I used to sleep on the boat in the garden.
You're like,
Quite
one
desperate.
day.
Yeah, quite desperate to do it myself. So, and then I worked on super yachts for 7 years and spent lots of time in Antigua, and every year all of the boats would be arriving, having finished the race. And so it was just inevitable.
It's like one of those things that's going to happen.
Yeah.
What sort of training did you do in order to be able to do this crossing?
So we had to do a lot of training in the gym and also a lot on our rowing boat. So we did 6 sessions a week, and there'd probably be a couple of hours each. We might have 2 hours on the erg, like sort of stroke rate 18 to 20, um, as many watts as possible. I was quite far behind Mim. She's pretty strong. And then a lot of weight training. But we also, like, on weekends, sometimes we'd have like a longer session. So like maybe 2 hours of rowing, 1 hour off, and then 2 hours back on. And like we also did a 24-hour row but we did 2 hours on, 2 hours off for a whole 24 hours, like, on the rowing machines at home, which was so horrible. Um,
Oh.
Definitely, yeah, more, like, mentally tough trying to stay on the erg. And then, yeah, we'd basically try and go rowing every weekend, so we're both working full time,
Mm.
and we kept our boat up north in Hartlepool, and we're training out on the North Sea, and we'd basically try and, like, drive over there on a Friday night and then just go out
Just row
and
for the weekend.
just row for the weekend, not really get any sleep,
Oh.
and then come back in, drive home, and then be totally finished off, like, trying not to fall asleep, at
It's
the
like
desk on the Monday.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like recovering
Yeah.
from the weekend, then Thursday, Friday going up to go and do it
Yeah,
again.
yeah, exactly, and, like, all of our holiday days were used up to, like, try and make the weekends longer, and,
Mm.
we ended up moving the boat down south to Chichester because it was just such bad weather up north, and we just couldn't go out. You can't really go out in, like, more than 12 knots of wind because you're in danger of like, sort of, I don't know, ending up crashing onto the rocks and not having control of the boat because it's too windy, which doesn't make sense,
I was gonna
for
say,
training
what
for an
happens
ocean
if
row.
it's 12,
But then,
more than
you're
12
like,
knots of
you're
wind when
safe
you're
at
out
sea
there?
because there's nothing that you're gonna be blown into, and
Oh,
you're not
okay.
gonna run aground, oh, yeah, and end up in the coastline. Um, so, yeah, that's kind of what our weekends look like, and also, yeah, just getting to know the boat really, and just,
Mm.
yeah, even if you couldn't go out, you'd sleep on the boat and just get to know it, yeah.
Just have a nice little
Yeah.
cozy little nap on the
Yeah,
boat. Oh,
yeah.
that'd be nice.
It was, yeah, definitely not that nice, it was always freezing cold.
Yeah, North Sea,
Yeah.
just like,
Stormy, yeah.
yeah.
We had storms during training on the North Sea, but no storms on the Pacific.
Yeah, I was gonna say, going up there, it'd be like nice and stormy, windy, horrible, and then when you do the row, it'd be like glass flat, nice
Yeah,
and warm, and it's like,
yeah.
this is so much nicer
Yeah. No, it was so good.
than rowing around the British Isles. What does a day look like for you when you're out? What am I trying to say? I'm trying to read my own writing. What does a seize the day look like
So
offshore?
so when we were out at sea, our routine, we basically started by doing 2 hours on, 2 hours off. So we'd switch, every 2 hours. So you'd be rowing, and then in your off shift, you wouldn't just be sleeping, but you'd be making your meals, doing maintenance jobs on the boat, maybe speaking.
Fixing your knickers?
Yeah,
Is that a
fixing the
thing? I saw
knickers.
that.
Yeah, the knickers that grew like 4 times the size of what they were, 'cause all the elastic went. But yeah, I mean, when the sun comes up, clean the solar panels, midday, make water with the water maker. Um, and yeah, it was quite a simple life really. Um, and everything broke every day, so we were just always fixing things.
Always busy.
Yeah.
And you said before we started recording that you guys tried to do a podcast
Yeah.
while you were out there.
Yeah, yeah. So we thought we had these little microphones, and we thought it'd be a really good idea to try and start a podcast because, we ended up towards the end of the crossing just rowing together all day,
Mm.
because it was just too hot in the cabins to get any rest. And we were like, yeah, let's try and do a podcast. And we recorded for about 40 minutes and we're just completely exhausted afterwards from, like, just, I don't know, trying to be, like, really enthusiastic and already being so sleep deprived, and then to find out that my microphone wasn't turned on and Min was the only one who we could hear, and we just thought, we're not doing that again. It's too much.
Oh, so somewhere there's like 40 minutes of unedited, unreleased footage of you guys
Yeah,
just like,
yeah,
"Ah!"
we should find it.
That would be very good.
Yeah,
I think there'd be lots of people that'd be interested to see
yeah,
what 40 minutes of you guys sounds like, just
yeah.
like on your own, like, the best and the worst parts of doing a challenge like this.
I think the worst part is definitely the preparation and trying to find the money, the sponsorship money.
Mm.
And we've still not managed to cover the cost of the campaign.
Really?
Yeah,
You're a year off, well, 165 days off.
yeah, it's so tough, and we had a really hard time finding sponsors, and um, we were just massively put back after we got rescued and had sort of boat issues and had to pay more money. So yeah, all of that stuff that happened in the start was a bit of a nightmare. But yeah, it's all worth it in the end when you get to you get to be on the ocean and you see all the sunsets and sunrises and the amazing stars and the Milky Way and
Mm,
all the wildlife that you get to see. Best day was when we had a sperm whale about 5 meters from the boat, which was really cool.
that is
Yeah.
crazy. I always laughing with Rebecca Coles, whose episode went out probably 2 weeks before this episode will go out, and saying that Matt would want me to ask, what was your favourite type of ocean creature that you saw while you were out there?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. I think definitely the whales we love because you just don't see them. But
Mm.
actually, we saw birds every day, and there was this type of bird called a booby bird, and there were like loads of varieties with like different coloured beaks and different coloured feet, and they would just stay on the boat overnight and just sleep
Oh.
on top of the cabin, and it was just quite nice company, really. They were really sweet.
You like have someone different to talk to.
Yeah.
Oh, there. You're saying about having to get rescued. Did you have a not a false start, but a false start then?
Yeah, so what happened was we'd set off, and on day 6, our rudder snapped, so we weren't able to steer the boat. And we didn't know why it snapped at the time. And we basically spent a few days just drifting,
Mm,
trying to make a repair. And we pulled the spare rudder out, and basically the same thing had started to happen to that, and it started delaminating and was also basically had expanded too much to fit into the rudder housing. So we then pulled the dagger board out, which goes down the middle of the boat to help stabilize you,
mm,
and try to drill holes in that to turn that into the rudder. And it was not working. We basically snapped and blunted all of our drill bits, trying to make all these holes with the little hand drill. And yeah, got to a point where we had to get a rescue. And we had probably drifted about 350 miles offshore.
oh my
From we
God.
started in Lima, Peru, and we got told that the Peruvian Navy could come and rescue us, but they'd have to leave our boat just adrift. And we were like, no, this can't happen.
The
Like,
boat's gotta
yeah,
come too.
yeah, honestly, and we would have had to pay back all the sponsors, and it would have been a real disaster, and we would have been heartbroken
Oh my
because we
God.
spent so long preparing for the row, and yeah, we just couldn't believe it. But anyway, a really good friend, Alec, who we actually met on the first day we arrived in Peru, he said, "Don't worry, girls, I'll come and get you." And he was setting off to sail around the world, and yeah, came and picked us up and towed us for 8 days all the way back to where we started.
Was he like rowing himself, or did he
So
no engine?
no, yeah, so he didn't have any fuel. So he was, I think it was maybe like a 25-meter roughly sailing boat.
Oh, okay.
And the way back to Lima was all upwind, so he had to tack the whole way. And so we were just some zigzagging, and sometimes there'd be points where our boat would almost overtake him.
Him.
Um, so yeah, that being towed back was awful. We were just it just felt like the front of the boat was going to get ripped off.
But you made it back. You made it back.
Yeah.
My one of my favorite questions of the podcast is, do you have a sporting ick? And I guess in this context, it might be like an ocean ick. I don't
Oh, a
know.
sporting ick. I think just maybe I'm not sure that I've got an ick, but I think maybe when people just don't want to try things, when people don't want
Mm,
to try a new sport, and they say, "Oh, I wouldn't like that."
yeah.
But you never know unless you try.
I shared something on my Instagram account yesterday. It was like, don't let a lame shame you for trying something, or
Yeah,
it's cool to try. Don't let a lame shame you.
yeah, that's really
I
good
think it was
point.
like an AI granny with a glass of wine or a cigarette and a cigarette.
Sweet.
Not very sporting, but it did make me giggle.
Oh,
But yeah, there's a lot of people sort of said it's cool to be keen, or you just never know.
yeah.
And like I started my sport to find a tall boyfriend, and that was 100% successful. So I would encourage
Oh,
anyone
that's
to do
brilliant.
it.
Yeah. Oh.
Our main section, which I know we're slightly winging, but do you have a dying on the hill that you want to talk about on the podcast?
Yeah, so I think just basically just wanting to take part in absolutely every challenge and adventure possible.
Mm,
And I'm so passionate about trying new things and, really, really pushing myself, but then also trying to get other people to go and like take part in adventures because I feel like you learn so much from adventure and all of these skills like teamwork and resilience and independence that you can take forward, for your later careers.
mm.
Um,
'Cause what are you doing this weekend? You came in and you told us what you're up to this weekend. Speaking of new
Yeah, so
challenges.
I'm going ice climbing, and I've never been ice climbing before, but it's quite nice because I've got, I'm not doing a rowing campaign right now, so I can say yes to everything. I'll probably be right at the back, but yeah, it's really exciting trying new things.
If somebody was sort of thinking about doing one of these challenges, I mean, I feel like this is like the extreme doing these ocean rows,
Mm.
but what would your advice be?
I think that ocean rowing's a really cool sport because although it may seem completely inaccessible, it actually is. Like I'm really terrible rower and I'm really short and like, you don't you've got people. I think the youngest person to row an ocean is 17 years old and the oldest person's 73, and there's somebody who's done it blind and people who've done it like a team of four with only four legs between them. Like there's a real variety of people that do it, and I think
Mm.
people just need to say yes, and there's never the right time. People say, "Oh, I'll wait until this happens," or there's never going to be a right moment. You just need to take the opportunity and go for it.
Mm. What was one of the most challenging moments, do you think? Speaking of challenging yourself, what was the challengiest challenge when you were out there?
Oh, the biggest challenge, oh, was probably, I think, just having to make all those repairs on the boat because it wasn't just one thing that went wrong. It was also our water maker, and we had pretty major power issues. And um, to lead on from not having very much power, we had to be so sort of aware of our surroundings and keeping an eye out for other vessels
Mm.
because we were effectively a ghost ship and because we had our automatic identification system turned off. Other boats couldn't see us in the area. And I think it has to be the sleep deprivation. Just, yeah, it was just absolutely knackering. I was finished off by the end.
The idea of sleep deprivation, whatever you're doing, but I am like, I need at least 8 hours every night.
Yeah.
12 would be
Oh,
ideal, but
yeah, that sounds dreamy.
the idea of like that sleep rotation of 2 hours you were saying you started on and then
Yeah.
changing up. But you said, you were saying your I'm trying to think what the word is, partner, I guess, in
Mm,
crime, Miriam had done an Atlantic crossing
yeah.
and she was doing 15 hours of rowing and then sleeping
Mm,
all through the night.
yeah. Yeah, I think it's so difficult to decide on a good routine, and with ocean rowing, most people do 2 hours on, 2 hours off. But yeah, being a solo rower, it's so tough to get yourself back on the oars.
Mm.
So it's probably easier to do it once a day than I don't know how many times a day we were having to do it. But it's crazy how your body does just adapt to the lack of sleep and just having to wake up, those every 2 hours. It is, yeah, mad.
All I can think of while we're talking is there's a picture of you with a massive tuna. Every time I go to ask a question, all I can see is you with that massive tuna. Tell me about the tuna because that's all like just at the front of my
Yeah.
mind.
So we only caught one fish in the whole crossing, which is kind of mad because we had a fishing line out the whole way
Mm.
across. So yeah, 165 days, one fish. But I think our
But
average
it's all
speed.
I can think of. I'm sat here looking at you, and all I can see is
Can't really
you
I'm
standing there holding it.
Yeah. Oh, we were so happy when we caught it. That was a really amazing day, and you're pretty unlikely to catch fish when you're traveling so slowly because you need to
Mm.
be going about 8 knots, and our average speed was only 2 knots. Like we were slow. Our boat was over at 1.5 tons with, all the food on board. But yeah, we ate this fish. We caught it, gutted it and filleted it, and then ate as much as we could. raw. So we had sashimi with soy sauce, so good.
Nice.
And then we tried to make ceviche, but I accidentally packed like a bottle of lime juice rather than lemon juice, and it did not taste good at all. And then we boiled the rest in the jet boil and had it with instant mashed potato, which was so good.
How many days did it feed you for?
We basically decided that we had to eat it within 2 days because we don't
Uh,
have any refrigeration or even any shade on deck,
okay.
and we
So
didn't want to
you
get ill.
literally had to just
So we
crack
oh
on.
my gosh, we ate like we could barely row. Like we were so full. It was such a treat.
I'm gonna have to you'll have to send me the pictures
I
of
will.
this tuna so I can put it into your episode. Because it is, I remember seeing it and being like, "Oh my God, that's so cool," and then being like, I know that person. What are they doing? What are they up to?" Bringing back to our Dying on the Hill and I guess the joy of adventure, would you like to talk about the Outward Bound Trust, which was your charity for the row?
Yeah, so we decided to raise money for the Outward Bound Trust because we feel like we got so much out of adventure when we were younger, and both of us did quite a lot of outdoor adventurous activities. I did a lot of water sports and that kind of thing when I was younger, and sort of ended up in like climbing mountains in Wales and that kind of thing, and
Mm.
just really feel like I got so much out of it. And a lot of children just don't get the opportunity to do that. You know, they may come from disadvantaged backgrounds or live in cities. So we just wanted to give children that experience, and there's loads of residential centres across the UK. With
Is
the
it like similar to PGL?
It is quite similar. I
Because I
worked at
remember doing
PGL.
that. Was
Yeah,
it? There was
yeah,
like, it's Parents Get Lost or it's
yeah.
Potatoes Grows Limited.
Oh,
This
that's
is
so
such a
funny.
niche like childhood experience, I
Yeah.
feel.
I loved PGL. I worked at PGL for 2 seasons. But I guess like the different thing is with the Outward Bound Trust is that they actually get kids climbing proper like outdoors
Mm.
on mountains, like proper rock faces, and they'll go sailing and abseiling, and it's all like actually in the elements rather than it being like a more controlled environment like PGL.
Yeah, because I think I remember like my childhood experience. There was like a mud assault course, which was quite a controlled.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't that controlled. We were just like being having like these muddy buckets of water being tipped over us while we like went through these tunnels. But there was like an abseiling thing,
Like
and
a
then
tower, yeah.
yeah, and then there was another activity where we had to like wrap an egg up and then drop it from a height and
Oh
like
yeah,
create
yeah,
a
yeah. They
parachute.
were still doing that when I was working there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it hasn't changed.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what PGR actually stands for?
Peter Gordon Lawrence.
Oh, not Parents Get Lost.
No,
Oh,
but
okay.
that has always just stayed in the head. Yeah, yeah,
The Outward Bound Trust, though, just like one-off experiences.
yeah. So kids will get to go. It's like a massive variety of age groups, but they'll go for like a week or 2 weeks to a specific centre
Mm.
and just do a load of different activities. There's loads of centres in Scotland and a couple in Wales.
Do you have a favourite moment from your crossing other than finishing?
Oh, do you know it's funny you say that because actually finishing was quite sad. I didn't want
Oh,
it to end. Although it was like the finish was amazing. Favorite moment. Oh, there's so many to choose from, but
you
like
can have more than
yeah,
one.
something that like really sits in my mind is just rowing at night time with all of the stars in the sky and then all of the phosphorescence in the water, and
Mm.
it's like you've got stars through the sea, and every time you put your oars in the water, they just all light up. And also because you know you're not facing the way that you're going, it feels like we said it's like riding a dragon in the night because you're just
Oh,
absolutely like flying over waves, and it's just a really cool feeling, one that will, yeah, stick with me.
that's a really lovely way of describing it.
Mm.
Because Rebecca, who was on, she said that sometimes the dolphins go through the bio
Yeah, the bioluminescence. Yeah.
bioluminescence, and she said they kind of look like little torpedoes that
Yeah.
are like glowing,
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
which was really cool. I feel like I've heard some of these descriptions before because I've spoken to Anna and Rebecca,
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, I've heard this," but I'm like,
No.
"I've not done it."
It feels like you've been there. I absolutely loved when the sun came up because it's funny because through the day you'd kind of you'd really wish for it to be nighttime because it was so hot.
Mm.
But then at nighttime you couldn't really wait until the sun came up, and it was like I think just like the best moments were like sunrise and sunset. And there was some we had a couple of weeks where the water was just flat calm, and I thought that
Mm.
I'd really, really love it. Turns out it's like rowing through treacle when there's no waves and wind to help you get across. Um,
Said no river rower ever.
yeah, I know you'd be absolutely dreamy in a river rowing
Yeah.
boat. Um, but that was actually really special, and it was really funny because when it was just flat, calm, and silent, and we'd be watching the sunset, we'd both be whispering to each other because we felt like we had to
You
be
had to be
quiet.
quiet even though
Yeah,
no one else was there.
yeah,
It's like
yes.
finishing the ocean row, you said it was actually quite sad 'cause I think it was
Oh,
live streamed.
yeah. My sister and her boyfriend did the live stream.
Oh, tell me
Yeah.
about actually finishing it then.
So the last day was the first day I got blisters.
It's always the
And
way.
it was absolutely brutal, and, we actually thought we weren't gonna make it in, and, we ended up with 20 knot headwinds that weren't forecast,
Oh.
and we were really struggling to get into the channel, and we spent the whole day just absolutely not moving, basically just treading water, and we were supposed to arrive in the morning, and we didn't arrive until after sunset. And we were told we need to stay 5 meters inside the channel because that's where it's been dredged and it's deep enough. And we were literally like 5 meters outside of the channel, just drifting further and further, and thought we were going to run aground, like hit the bottom. And we both were just rowing so hard, and neither of us could come off the oars to try and radio and say, we might need some help here. Um, and I thought, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna get the radio and just ask a boat to come out and just be with us,
Mm.
just in case we need a tow in." But then if we had taken a tow, we'd have lost all the records. And
Yeah.
basically, like, the day was just absolutely, like, so brutal. And, we just couldn't believe, like, how hard it was to get to Australia because it's such a massive place. But we thought we might have to swim ashore, and, like, there's loads of
Really?
sharks and crocodiles, and we were
Oh.
like we were just gonna go for it at that point. We felt like we'd gone through so many battles along the way.
Mm.
But yeah, finally made it into the marina, and it was quite funny because I spotted. So yeah, my sister Phoebe and her boyfriend Freddie were doing the live stream, and they had to fill quite a lot of silence because they think
And they're like, "There
we're
they
just
are.
yeah, they're coming soon. And
They're
it's like
gonna
an
be
hour later.
here."
So they're just answering everybody's questions and stuff. And anyway, I heard my sister um like, on a boat, but it was a super yacht. I was like, "There's no way my sister's managed to get on a super yacht."
She's like,
Yeah.
"Excuse me."
Yeah, but anyway, like, saw them first, and, yeah, it was really amazing to see everybody, and then we couldn't believe, like, there were, like, 200 people on the dock waiting for us, and all the super yachts were blaring their horns, and it was so cool. We put the anchor out and lit the flares, and then, yeah, came to land, but it was really weird, like, our sort of we couldn't really work out how far away we were from the dock because we'd not come so close to anything for
Mm.
such a long time. We're like, we're going to crash into the dock. Like, oh, it's going to be really embarrassing. Like, we're going to get this maneuver completely wrong. But yeah, it was insane. And then stepping on land, we were quite wobbly.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, how did you was it, like, straight onto the floor, or was it,
Yeah. So we stepped on land. Neither of us fell over, but we were just like like swaying,
like,
drifting.
walking
Yeah,
sideways?
literally just like we couldn't walk in a straight line.
That's it's so weird, isn't it? Because your body, like, obviously adapts to whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
I remember being on a particularly bad, like, ferry crossing across, like, the Irish Sea,
Mm.
and it being really bad and, like, being like, "Ah, I have to walk sideways," and then being like, "I am so seasick. I need to
Oh
lie down and
no.
sleep in a corner."
Oh, horrible.
And that was probably only an
Yeah.
hour-long crossing, if
Oh,
that.
I do feel pretty bad for people who get seasick though.
I've been I've been seasick sort of on that crossing, and then we went on a boat, in Mallorca a few years ago now, and I literally like threw up all the way down the side of this person's boat.
Oh, poor you.
I was like I was
Uh,
like, oh, this is so
uh,
nice. And then I think the wake of the ferry was like hitting the boat sideways. So it was like going forwards, but it was also like kind of rocking side to
yeah.
side at the same time. And I was like on the boat for a while. I was like, I can hold on until we get to wherever we were going.
Oh,
And then suddenly just, when you just get hit with like a wave of sweat and you're like,
oh no.
no, I can't hold on.
Oh God, poor you. I've never been seasick, but just oh
Touch wood.
yeah.
It's just, oh, just horrible. I wonder if you have one or if you have many, but a best fuck up from your journey, from your trip.
A best fuck up. Oh,
Not bringing enough
um,
pants or
oh
not bringing any
yeah.
elastic.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we just didn't bring enough clothes. Well, you don't really need that many clothes.
Mm.
At sea, we had a couple of SPF tops and like 5 pairs of knickers each, and like a few bikinis and sports bras. And yeah, turns out everything just totally deteriorates in salt water. We just didn't have enough knickers. And we ended up having to use a pair of knickers to repair our emergency water maker when that broke. Um,
What did that look like?
yeah, so basically we had pretty bad issues with our electric water maker, and it was installed with pipes that weren't rated for the pressure. And we tried to basically like make it work by wrapping rope around each pipe to try and reinforce it. And it got to a point where we had to keep slicing off pipe, and we ended up with not enough for it to reach each section. So we got the emergency water maker out, and that's something that you'd only use if you're like in the life raft. And
Mm.
it only makes 3 liters of water an hour. And it's so hard to pump water. Like we basically decided it was harder than rowing and hadn't trained enough arms. And yeah, so basically Mims did 2 hours of pumping. I took over. Put
Do you
the
have to pump it constantly?
Yeah, like you have to do it in like the rhythm has to stay the same the whole
Oh,
time. And if the rhythm goes off, it just doesn't like
do it
salt water
properly.
starts coming in
Oh,
into the bottle, and then you've really
you
cocked
got to
up.
start
Yeah,
again.
yeah, you'd have to empty it and start again. And I think there was a couple of times where that had happened, and we didn't realize and be drinking the water and be like, oh, that's seawater. We got to start again. But anyway, like I put the hose over the side, and for some reason the filter with the weight on it just fell off and dropped to the bottom of the ocean. And I was like,
No.
no, like, please, this is like well, it's not our last resort, but we only had 100 bottles of plastic,
Mm.
like drinking water on board. But anyway, I realized that it wasn't too much of an issue, and it was going to be easy to make a filter, but Mims did sacrifice a pair of her
A
knickers.
pair of knickers.
Yeah. Yeah.
When packing knickers for a crossing, do you think bigger or smaller knickers?
Oh,
Thongs or big knickers?
I think like we went for big knickers because otherwise you get like salt sores where the seams are.
Mm.
So we
And you
had
got
like
more material if there's a
yeah,
disaster.
yeah. But then like I don't know, maybe there needs to be like a different type of material that you use, because the ones that we had, yeah, they literally were just so massive and baggy. And we come out the cabin like like one hand on the safety line and one hand holding the knickers up, and just be like, "Don't look at me." Yeah, it wasn't the best look, I have to say.
River rowing, we would never wear pants under our all-in-ones.
Yeah,
So it was just
that makes sense.
because
Yeah,
it all bunches up and then
yeah.
you just get like bum blisters
Oh.
and it's really horrible.
Oh, yeah, that's what we had, a lot of salt sores, a lot of yeah.
I have a question, which is, do you have a Jess or a seize the day mantra? Other than, I guess, seize the day, because seize the day is a
I
mantra.
feel like seize the day is our mantra, like just
Mm,
making the most out of every day and just absolutely living it up, and with yeah, just being on a massive high.
mm.
Um,
Is that
yeah, make the most of every moment.
when you were doing your crossing, would you be like, seize the day? And someone be like, fuck off.
Oh,
Or do you
okay.
think you have a different mantra for the crossing?
We had these wristbands on, that said, when the going gets tough, seize the day, keep going.
Mm.
And we both wore them throughout the crossing, and like yeah, it was sort of written like inside our wristbands,
Oh.
which felt quite fitting because we didn't ever like we got like pretty down in the dumps for the first few weeks when everything was going wrong, but like we weren't ever going to give up.
Yeah.
It just like wasn't on the cards.
Yeah, you're like, financially,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
we are
Yeah.
getting across that. I don't care if we swim.
Yeah. Honestly. There was a point that we got in the water and like we just weren't moving, like the boat was just not going forward
Mm,
and we just could not shift it. And we're like trying we were because when you get in the water you're always attached to a rope attached to the boat.
mm.
We were just like, we're actually pulling the boat right now, like let's maybe swim for a bit. Like we're going faster than we would be if we're rowing. What's going on here?
Because if the wind changes, do you then get pushed back or do you stay put or
Yeah, so depending on how, like, because you can't really row into a headwind really, in these boats, and we didn't really have many downwind following conditions, which was a real shame because that's when you get to surf, and like that's
mm.
why the Atlantic's so fun because the whole thing's downwind.
Ah,
But
okay.
the Pacific, we were just getting absolutely like beaten by the waves coming in from the side, like sideways on, beam on waves the whole way across. And like it did make it like it was quite hard on the auto helm to like keep a course.
Mm,
Um and just quite frustrating actually getting waves over you the whole time. Like especially like we'd wash our hair like every 4 days or like sometimes we'd have to wait 10 days because we'd just be getting soaked and it was
mm.
just pointless. But it would always be like after we'd had a hair wash, we'd just get dunked by a wave. And something that we actually really wish that we'd taken was like those shower caps, like bath hats.
Oh, do you know what? That would have been so fun if you had like I want to say like 1950s, 1960s like swim caps, with all the
Yeah.
like big flowers
Yeah,
on.
that
You
would
could
have been
have
so
sat on there
sweet. We'll definitely take them next time.
next
Yeah,
time. They would be really good for your Instagram reels as
yeah,
well.
yeah. More embarrassing things that we can do on social media.
The world record, was that always a given because you're the first female crew? Or was there a time that you had to hit?
So we knew that there were a few that we wanted to get, and I've ended up with four, and Mims has five.
Oh, really?
Um,
Talk us through.
So yeah, first women's team to do it non-stop and unsupported, because there's actually a women's team, the Coxless Crew. There's a really good Netflix documentary,
Mm,
um, called Losing Sight of Shore, and they stopped off a couple of times along the way. So yeah, first women's team, first overall pair. So no men's
okay.
pair has done it
Oh,
either.
really?
And then we are the fastest pair, which includes the pairs that have done it and stopped along the way. We're the youngest team, but that kind of is only out of two teams. So there's the McLean brothers, three
Mm.
Scottish brothers, and us. And then Mim's got a fifth one for being the youngest person.
She's like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
extra. I thought because I'd seen it as like first women's, but I didn't realize it was the first pair or the
Yeah,
fastest pair.
yeah.
That's quite flat.
It's actually taken a while to sort of like remember them all and like like usually when people ask I'm like I can't think.
Do you know if there's anyone like chomping at the bit to try and take any of your records?
So what's really cool is that there's
They're not
already
allowed. What's really
oh
cool
I think
is they're not
I
allowed.
think I think it'd be so cool if people like went out and broke our record.
Mm,
There's a lady called Katie Spots who's actually rowing solo across the Pacific in December. She's leaving in December. There has been another lady who's Michelle Lee who's rowed the full Pacific solo before. So before we did it, only three others had done the full Pacific Ocean non-stop and unsupported, and
mm.
all three of them were soloists.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
People who really like their own
Yeah,
company.
yeah, yeah. I think well, there's one guy actually, Ding Bell, who left from Lima, Peru, and he's not only rowing the full Pacific Ocean, but he's going all the way above Australia and across the Indian, and he's planning not to stop. Which is going to be like the longest recorded rowing.
Thing
Yeah,
ever.
it's totally mad, and he's out there at the moment.
Oh my God.
Mm,
Just somewhere floating along,
yeah, yeah,
having the best time.
yeah,
That sort of leads me on to future plans.
yeah. So, it's actually really hard to like choose one thing. There's so many things I want to do, and like we had so much time on the boat to talk about all of the things on our bucket list.
Mm.
But at the moment, like, there aren't any big challenges that we've got lined up or that either of us do.
Mm.
But we're working on a book together.
Ah,
We're writing a book, and
a
then
seize the day book.
yeah, and then hoping to do a kids' book as well after that. But yeah, we've already done the first couple of chapters, and we've got a literary agent helping us sort of piece it together. And sort of going up and down the country doing a lot of talks at the moment, and trying to pay off the Pacific campaign, basically. But it's just been quite nice to go and do smaller things and just do
Mm.
like a variety of sports and that kind of thing at the moment. But yeah, there's definitely the Indian Ocean on the list, and I don't. We both said we need to run a marathon this year as well because that's not been
Oh
done yet.
God, not a marathon. I feel like everyone's like either getting pregnant or running a marathon at the
Yeah,
moment. There's
yeah,
no in between.
yeah. Have you run a marathon?
No, I haven't fucking
Yeah.
run a marathon. I am in the in between. I'm not
Yeah.
pregnant and I'm not running a
Yeah.
marathon. I've got a dog.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Oh,
I've got a dog and I'm a podcast. I feel like that's a early midlife crisis as much as it can needs to be.
oh no, it's definitely not. No.
What marathon do you think you'd aim for if
Oh, I
you
don't know. Probably a nice flat one.
Yeah, that's good.
I haven't. I
Good
like.
answer.
I've done a little bit of running, but really not got into it yet. I think.
I have not done any running. I did do a little bit of running when I initially stopped rowing. I would do like
Yeah.
a 5K at 5
I
and
am.
no,
Oh.
5 p.m.
It's
Not, but
like
I've done my early mornings. All right, I've done
yeah.
my stint of the like high performance grueling stuff. Now
Yeah.
I do like leisurely
Yeah.
bits that just make me feel happy.
Enjoy it. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just nice to enjoy it, isn't it? I feel like before I think sometimes if I've got something that I'm like signed up for,
Mm,
then you just end up like not enjoying the process. Whereas if I just sort of like get into running and start to enjoy it and start running further,
mm.
I'll just sign up for a marathon and sort of do it last minute, I think.
Last minute,
Yeah.
just wing it.
Yeah.
My final question is, did you have a soundtrack for the voyage?
Yeah, ultraviolet.
Ultraviolet.
Yeah. Yeah, we were playing that on repeat. That was an absolute banger. We made a playlist called Bangers and Mash with just loads of fantastic tunes, and we just like
Is that easy to find on Spot? Is it Spotify or Apple Music? Did
yeah,
you make it?
yeah, it's on Spotify. I don't know if it's on mine or Mims's account, but yeah, Bangers and Mash.
Bangers and Mash. Check it out if you need inspiration for your training week. Ultraviolet, as in,
Like from Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging. We just end up standing up and screaming.
what a good
Mm.
choice.
Yeah, that was definitely the song of the crossing.
Fantastic. I'm
Yeah.
very nostalgic.
Yeah.
I thought it was that one. And then I was like, is she talking about Lana Del Rey? Not ultraviolet. Ultraviolence, is it?
Oh, I
I
don't
was like,
know.
surely that's not what they were playing as they were
No,
crossing. It's like
no.
very like
Stuff
steady
that would
and
make you go to
like
sleep.
no, not necessarily, but like kind of like in your sad, almost
Oh
feeling.
dear, yeah.
Ultraviolence. That's not very good. I'll have to count that a bit out. We have completed the podcast amazingly. If anybody would like to find you, or maybe more importantly, help you finish off the sponsorship side of it all, where can they find you online?
So if anybody just searches Seize the Day Ocean Rowing will pop up, and it's spelled SEAS.
Excellent. And donations still welcome?
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Always.
Just a little everything helps. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. You've asked some really good questions. Yeah,
Perfect.
thank
There we
you.
go. As usual, please follow the podcast wherever you are listening to it. Our t-shirts are still available via our website, which is linked in the bio of this podcast. And you can also find it on Instagram at Only Dead Fish Podcast. And if you enjoyed the episode, please leave a comment and or review, send it on to a friend, or listen again, I guess. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the episode and chat next week. Bye-bye.